Did you know that you're an infinite being? Well, on today's show, I have a very special guest who's going to help you connect with the infinite being that you are. Stay tuned. Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, the show that inspires, educates, and empowers you. And each week on this show, we talk about important, relevant topics so that you can live the very best version of yourself and live to your highest, greatest, fullest potential. And I am super excited about today's show. We're going to change things up today and switch things around because I wanted to have my guest on the show for the better part of the hour today. His name is Brian Ridgway, and I'll share a little bit about him in a moment. He's actually been a guest on the show before, and I'm having him back because his work is so important in this world, particularly right now, especially right now with everything that is going on this planet. It's never been a more unprecedented time in the past to really connect with the one being, the beingness that you are, and the reason why you're here on this earthly journey, in this human experience, having everything that's happening to you, for you to really connect with why that is and what's going on, and to find out what could possibly be holding you back. It's time to release all that, don't you think? It's time to let it go, right? All right, so before I bring Brian Ridgway on the show, I just want to share some updates with you about what's going on here. You know, we've been working diligently. We have an upcoming event called the Have It All Life live virtual event. You know, we're living in interesting times right now, and the way we're connecting is virtually, and this is here to stay. And I think beyond what happens with once we return back to whatever the new normal is, or the new, or whatever you want to call it, that connecting with each other virtually is here to stay. And there'll be some combination of, you know, in-person and live experiences again, but virtual will always be a thing that's going to stick around. I just believe that. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to host a live event this year, and it seems like that's not going to happen. So I pivoted it and I made it virtual. So this is for you ladies out there. If you are looking for personal development to up-level your life, both personally and professionally, to let go of pain from your past, limiting beliefs, the things that are holding you back, for you to really live what I call a have it all life. So what we're going to do in this 3-day event is I'm going to take you through the 8 key areas of your life. We're going to look at where you are now and look where you want to be. And we're going to bridge the gap with an 8-step principle that gets you whatever it is you want. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter where you are on the journey. This process will help you get the clarity, focus, and direction that you need. So exciting. So we're going to have a link for it here. You can register for it at bit.ly.com/DF virtual event. Sorry, I'm struggling with my words today. Let me say that again. bit.ly.com DF virtual event. Now, the event is taking place August 28th through the 30th. It's a Friday through Sunday. It's 3 days for you to shut out the rest of the world, tune into you, and take this time now where I'll be on stage. There'll be speakers, there'll be fun, there'll be insights, as if you are at a live virtual event, but you get to be in the comfort of your own home. So you don't have to travel, you don't have to fly, you don't have to stay in a hotel room, none of that stuff. And it's an opportunity for you to connect with community, to learn amazing content, and to have breakthroughs that allow you to step up into that have it all life. So click on the link. I know that early bird pricing is ending fast. Tickets are selling fast. So get in there right away, block off the time. And when you register, please give me your shipping address, because I am sending you an amazing swag wow box to your home before the event to help you with the event. So cool. So don't you love getting surprises? So I've got a surprise for you coming. So again, click on the link to register for the event, and I can't wait to see you there and see all the breakthroughs. All right. Okay, so before I bring on Brian, let me share our intention statement with you, because we always have an intention statement. It is, I have today to connect with who I truly am. And Brian's going to help us do that today. I have today to connect with who I truly am. So if you want, you can go to my Instagram page at Diane Forster Official. And right there, there's a button that says wallpaper. And every week, Kelly makes the most beautiful wallpaper. Let me see if I can pull mine up, where you can take that intention statement and really anchor it in. As you're seeing it all week, it's a reminder of, being able to make those shifts in your lives by anchoring that in. And I think today's is extraordinary. In fact, it's probably already posted. Is it in? Yeah, it's already in Instagram today. So I have today to connect with who I truly am. And there's never been a better today to start doing that. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to bring on Brian so that we can get into the show, because Brian has got so much insight and he is going to do a spell break on me. I am going to allow him to do this with me live on air. And you want to be tuned in for this. Connect with anybody you know who is struggling right now, because what's going to happen is, as he releases this spell on me, you're going to feel the effects on yourself, because I've experienced it. I've witnessed him breaking spells on other people and felt the healing and the shift within myself, moved me, shifted me. I mean, it was just unbelievable. So to experience it and to witness it and to feel it is something that's extraordinary. It's such a gift for yourself. So be present here and tag anybody you know, connect with anyone you know, so they can be here live with us to witness this as well. All right. Okay. So let's bring on Brian. Hey, Brian.
Good morning. Aloha, Diane.
Aloha. So good to see you again, my friend.
Same here. I'm excited to be with you.
Well, I'm excited to be have this time with you as well. I'm excited to share you with the audience again. And I would love for you to, I'm going to read a little bit about you. Let me just read a little bit from Brian's book, a little bit about you, because I really want you to get into it. And then I want you to share what's going on. And I have a whole host of questions for you. And I want to get to the spell break, because that is going to be incredible. I'm nervous and excited at the same time.
And brave, I will say.
Yeah, right. Coming out of an abusive childhood and then living with the outcomes of that ongoing pain, Brian invested over $300,000 and 30 plus years and tens of thousands of hours on self-help, personal development, and business money success courses as his life got worse and worse. Finding himself homeless, desperate, suicidal, and stuck, he experienced an awakening that took him from homeless to living the dream in Hawaii in less than 90 days. In that awakening, he was given the level 5 paradigm. Since that miracle moment, he has been able to help people around the world to take their first steps into true freedom. So, wow. Wow. And you've been doing this. I think the last number I read was you've done this for over 120,000 people in countries all over the world, from, celebrities, public figures to, on down, to, everyday ordinary people, although, we're all worthy and deserving. But, where you've been able to have these people experience the shift and the change it literally in minutes, that they've worked like you for decades, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on their own personal development and self-help, and we're not able to tap into that, which is so extraordinary. And when I read your book, let me just tell you, people, before Brian goes into his story, when we met at a networking event, and Brian sent me his book. I read it. I devoured it immediately, like in 2 days. And I reached out to him and said, you need to come on my show, because it really had this profound effect. So we're going to have a link for his free book for you as well. We'll share all that in a little bit. But experiencing your work, when I read your book, I thought there is nobody out there, at least I haven't found anybody out there doing this and expressing it the way that you express it. And so that's why I had to have you on the show. And I felt the shift going through his book. Actually, let me show you his book right here. It's called Break Your Self-Help Addiction, The 5 Keys to Total Personal Freedom. And in the book, he shares all of this. And he also shares steps where he tells you to go deeper and, directs you to his site, to different exercises and experiences. And every one of them I did, Brian, like I was a student of your work so much. Like every time you told me to go deeper, I stopped reading the book and I went deeper and experienced this massive shift and transformation. I can't even say enough about it. My words aren't doing it justice. So I just want to say thank you so much for doing what you do so valiantly and beautifully and openly, and you offer so much. So I'm going to shut up now and I'm going to let you talk and give a little teeny background about where you were, how this happened, and what spells are and the importance of breaking spells. So
beautiful. I could have listened to that all day. And I appreciate every word. And I'm doing what I am. For a long time I haven't seen a split between business and life. Like the vast majority of people talk about separating business and personal. There's nothing more ridiculous than that idea, because the person under your business hat is the person. So that doesn't make any sense. And I also, in my own life, the idea of doing anything other than what I am makes no sense to me. So I'm just doing what I am is what I boil that down to. And to tell the story that you're inviting, one of the things over the last 9 years, I've been asked so many times, I'm working on shortening this to something that captures the essence and is still fairly comprehensive. So I have 2 stories to tell at the same time. The first is that around 3, I discovered 2 or 3 years of age, I discovered this gift, for lack of a better word, that I have. I definitely was born to do what I'm doing. And I would look at a person, listen to him for a few seconds, and I could see and hear, and there are no words in the English language. So I just use see and hear. I see and hear the person in front of me, and I can see how they're holding themselves back from the infinite, unlimited being that they actually are. And for as long as I can remember, I've been doing it. And I could tell them, strangely, with the little vocabulary I had at that age, I could actually tell them how they were holding themselves back and what they could do. And this led a lot of people to either think this kid is either an angel or he's got a demon, because nobody can do what he's doing and see what he's seeing. What the hell is that? And because I had no filter, I just looked at the person, unconditionally loved them, and started helping with no filter and no wisdom, which I took 46 years to develop that scrap of wisdom to realize don't help until somebody asks.
Right.
So there's that thread, first of all. The other thread is I was born to a very angry man and a relatively unhappy woman, both doing their best, of course. The anger and the unhappiness and the lack of love that was in that home, I was programmed. Like if I distill the essence of what I learned, I was stupid, ugly, worthless piece of shit. And that got physically beaten into me every day for about 17 years. Like when I heard the tires in the driveway, I knew I was about to get my ass kicked, and it was a guarantee. And so there was unhappiness and terror, basically, in my childhood. And with that self-esteem that I took on, like virtually everybody else, I bought what they were selling. Oh, that's what I am, and that's what life is. So I went out and created a train wreck out of my life unconsciously, believing these things about myself. And so at 17, I got into self-help. My mom handed me a copy of one of Wayne Dyer's first books, Your Erroneous Zone, might be his first book. And I had this, you can work on yourself and make yourself better, which is the fundamental lie of the self-help industry. You can improve. Hint, you're not perfect and there's things wrong with you to fix. And it's hence self-improvement, which puts you in a trap for the rest of your life until you wake up from it. And so I spent the next 30 years or the next several decades, I literally self-help, personal development, and spiritual awakening became my number one focus. I was so miserable. I couldn't get my life to work. Self-help wasn't a luxury or an interest. It was life or death for me. Now, concurrently, as I went on this multi-decade self-help journey, my ability to help others was becoming like world class. And I'll share one super brief anecdote. I had gone to a Deepak Chopra seminar, and it was a 7-day event. And on the third day, I was having dinner with somebody, and she started talking about one of her challenges. And I said, would you be interested in a different perspective on that? And she said, yeah. And I chatted with her for about 15 minutes, and she looked at me and said, why are you at this event? You're way more effective at helping people than Deepak is. Now, I'm not in competition, but these are just the words she said. She said, I've been working on this for over 30 years. I've been confused for over 30 years. I've done everything. I've been to every one of Deepak's seminars, and I've been on Abraham cruises. And what did you just do to me in 15 minutes? And why are you wasting your time at this seminar? Like, go do this. So that's one anecdote. And basically, my life got worse until January 2011, homeless again, and having lost everything for the 7th time. I fulfilled that stupid, ugly, worthless piece of shit to the nth degree. And I had been suicidal on and off for years. If I didn't have kids, I definitely would have ended my life joyfully to escape from the hell I was in. And I let go completely on a level that's difficult or it may be impossible to put into the English language. I just let go. I gave up. There was no way out. And instantly, all the study I had ever done, quantum physics, spirituality, energy, blah, 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 it just came together. I looked at my hand, and it wasn't physical. It was energy buzzing. And then it was a hand, and then it was an energy. And I went through the universe, how it came into being, how I was there at the start. And the fact that everything is energy, all is one, and we are infinite being in a state of infinite possibilities went from being 30 years plus of ideas to being my constant reality. And with that, the ability I have to help people just went a whole nother level. So there's the story. Now, if you want to fine tune anything that I can.
Yeah, I do. And I want to just say something. And, I don't know how the audience is going to respond, but as I am sitting here looking at you, I am seeing your edges disappear. Cause I'm connected too. I mean, you're the master, but I'm watching your physical being just expanding. Like your energy is totally moving out. It's so awesome to watch. You're so incredibly powerful. Okay, I love this. What I want to go to is, we titled this "How to Become the Infinite Being That You Are," which you and I both know that you already are it. You don't become it. You actually are it. So how can we live in this knowledge and awareness that we are one infinite being? So can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah. And again, 9 years of doing this with more and more people, the answers are distilling themselves simpler and simpler. So what I say may sound almost too simple to some, but here's what it boils down to. Yeah, there's some how along the way, but it's as simple as this. It's a matter of everything we ever bought, which I call spells. All right. And I'll give a tiny speck of backstory. So there you are laying there as a baby. You can't get a drink without screaming for it. You're crapping your diaper, and you're screwed unless those people care about you and assist you. And you find that out really quickly. The attitudes they bring to you and the level of kindness and love they're capable of showing while you're in that state dictates virtually everything, because you're buying what they're selling the whole time. You're looking up at these gods and goddesses, and what they say and what they feel is truth to you. And you hadn't bought the 5 senses lie yet. So you're laying there with infinite senses, absorbing everything, feeling all their feelings and everything. So you say, I am this, and this based on that. And under these circumstances, I have to do this. I can't trust these people and I can't trust those kind of people. And you know, sometimes when this happens, you can't trust because sometimes they show up and sometimes they don't. You learn this incredible mass of conclusions and you literally bought it. That saying that we have, when people say, well, I'll buy that, you know, someone says something, you say, yeah, I'll buy that. Well, you were buying it the whole time with your infinite, unlimited creative potential. You were literally investing it in every conclusion you reached, which becomes your reality. So ultimately, to live as the infinite, unlimited, undefined being that you are is as simple as unknowing everything you bought. And when you unknow it, you cash your chips in at the casino. You unbuy everything you bought. And that creative potential for infinite possibilities is yours again. And so it's a matter of unknowing. If I put it into one word, unknowing everything you've learned.
So unknow everything you've learned, and that everything you've learned actually is, I mean, everything is a lie. It's a story. It's right. Okay. So that leads me into quantum questions. So what is a quantum question or what are quantum questions and why are they different than anything else that's out there like affirmations or mantras or anything like that?
Beautiful. Okay. So I will say, I like to slip this in and I'll be very brief about it. There's this idea about becoming an expert, and, you know, there's no 10,000 hour limit, but people have talked about it this way as a good grabbing a handle onto what being a true expert, not just a poser or whatever. When you've done your 10,000 hours with excellence and curiosity in any topic, you are going to know things and you're going to have seen and understood things and made connections that no one in the history of humanity could have ever made without those 10,000 hours. So it doesn't matter. I like to use the example of doing oil changes. Okay. If you go under cars and you drain the oil out and you do 10,000 freaking oil changes, paying total attention, you're going to discover and notice some things about the bottom of vehicles and about lubes and systems and suspensions on cars and trucks. You're going to discover things no one has ever had a chance to comprehend. Well, I have done my 10,000 hours of helping people dissolve their spells, which is a rather unique thing to do. And in the process of just hundreds and hundreds of groups I've worked with, hundreds and hundreds of individuals, from billionaires to people sitting on the side of the street, starting a conversation, helping them undo these things. There's the background. I have been open to and inviting the most powerful, direct, simple, effective, and efficient ways of unknowing. And mantra, affirmations, in my opinion, they're better than nothing, but not much. And the reason I think most people like them so much is because they didn't know there was an alternative, and it's better than nothing. It's better than the hell we've been suffering in. But when you do an affirmation, you're speaking as a rule. You're speaking with part of your mind to restate, even if you use emotion with it, you're speaking a statement that's in direct opposition to what you know. And the part that knows is going to fight. It is going to desperately try to keep you safe. And it says, you dumbass, don't you know that here you are saying, I'm a millionaire. Look at your bank account. So you're putting yourself in opposition to the reality that the deeper parts of you believe in. Contrast that with a quantum question, which is a very precisely formulated question that presupposes what you prefer, not what's better, not what's right, not what's superior, not even what's positive. Those are all traps that virtually everybody. Yeah, it's what I prefer. And what if it's okay for me to prefer and I don't need anybody's permission? Can't I prefer and let that be enough? I help people with that one too. But so assuming that someone can say, I'm willing to look at what I prefer. You ask a question that assumes that what you prefer already is. And because the mind doesn't know the difference between real and imagined, because everything is actually imagined, everything is imagined. Because of that, then when you ask this question, why is it true that no matter how much money I have right now, infinitely more is available? There's more where that came from. Why is it I'm admitting that right now, no matter how much money I have, there's more where that came from. And you're asking a question about altering reality, in other words, unknowing and unmaking, that your brain doesn't have any choice but to start to look for the answer for you. Whereas when you affirm, you're two brick walls meeting. And by hitting
Yes.
one question after another, your brain just surrenders and says, well, I guess it's true. And let me bring these answers back to you. And so the things that happen as a result of them, it's mind-boggling, life-changing, very liberating.
Yes. Well, I've witnessed it and I've seen it and experienced it. That's such a good one too, with that, with money, that there's that, and that you're ending that question, that quantum question, and there's more that where that came from, because there is,
no matter what.
No matter what. Right. Oh gosh. I love that.
Me too.
Okay. So yeah. So, tell me, or tell the audience, what is level 5 living? How are you defining level 5 living?
All right. To do that, I got to look at the first 4 levels. So this will definitely be the fastest I've ever done this. The way that we view the universe is through our paradigm. And most of us have heard the word paradigm. Most of us have some partial grasp on it. You have ideas and theories, you have beliefs, you have conclusions that you reach, most of them unconscious. You have a lot of conclusions that are tied up with emotions that you're unaware of, that you're repressing. And those are our spells. Okay. And so ultimately, there's a core paradigm that each of us views the world through. And I have labeled 5 just as a way of easy understanding. So the first one I call meat suit, and that is the cavemen and cavewomen among us who, and we've all lived in that state ourselves. So there's no judgment, but very simple-minded, very materialistic, and very sure that there's a physical world that's going to kick your ass, and you got to use your back and get through it to get enough bananas to make it through the week. And there's a lot of more detail to that. The second one is mindset. Mindset is the second paradigm where people say, I'm not some dumbass meat suit. No. I hire meat suits so that I can have more bananas more efficiently and effectively. We think we're a little superior when we get that mindset level of paradigm. We're mind, not just body and back. The third level, I call it religiosity. And religiosity is where you have gone beyond just physicality and just mind. And you say, wait, maybe there's something more here. You're evolving a little bit and you understand there might be something, a god or goddess or some kind of something beyond the physical, higher power. And it has a lot of rules, and you got to follow those rules. You're not going to get in heaven. And if you follow the rules just right, you get the good seats in heaven. So this religiosity gives you, there's something more. If I'm going to have enough bananas and get along, I got to actually follow this higher code. And God, there's a lot of rules. And then the fourth level is where the huge majority of people that I personally know and work with, I call it being spiritual. And that is defined by a couple things. So when someone is living in the fourth paradigm, they think they have left religion behind. One of the things they say is, they say all is one and everything is energy. And they say, yeah, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. But they find one of the primary determinants of being spiritual is a feeling that I know all this stuff, but I can't quite seem to live it. I'm talking it and I understand it, but I can't get it into my daily life at the level that I want. And what they really don't know is that they're still religious. Their spirituality, whether it's the law of attraction or whatever else, has become their new religion. But they think they're spiritual. They don't understand this has a whole bunch of rules too. Why did I attract this again? It's still the same game going on. The fifth paradigm, so level 5, for lack of a better term, is just something I came up with as a way of describing it again. Level 5 is living from the condition of your infinite, undefined, infinitely tapped in, but it's not even tapped in because you're not tapped into the one. You're not connected to the one. You're the one. You have surrendered and opened to where you can still operate as a human being. And what's operating through you is the infinite, unlimited one. And so it's presence, spontaneity, infinite guidance, infinite intelligence, operating and dancing in the world and have an amazing time, not believing that there are any problems or anything to fix.
Yes. Beautiful. Love it. You're right. So many people in my world too are stuck at level 4. including myself. I'd like to say I'm at level 5, but I'm not there yet. But
Well, and that's so beautiful, because the fact is, when we acknowledge that we're tapping into level 5, that helps us to let go of level 4 and actually start to rise into it even more. Yes, I have level 4 moments,
Yes, of course. Yeah, and having the awareness of this and just doing your best every day to strive, to reach it more and more and more is just how you're going to get there, right?
There's our spell break.
Yes. Well, there you go. Speaking of spell breaks, let's get to it. Are you willing to do one on me? I'm willing to let you do one on me.
I'm happy to. Not only am I happy to, I think we just started with that last statement you made.
Yes. Okay. Well, I guess that's a sign from the universe. Okay. All right. You tell me what I need to do.
All righty. So
here we go, folks who are watching this. Brian's about to perform a spell break on me.
And I'll offer this to everybody watching and listening. Here's the thing. No matter how weird or strange or unusual what's happening here is, if you just stay curious, okay? For those of you that must, jump over to my website and take a look and see the thousands of people saying spell breaking busted them loose after 30 or 40 years. And you'll have a little more, not trust necessarily, you might feel a little bit more relaxed. If you'll breathe deep and follow along as if I were working with you, because I actually am. There's only one here. And whenever I do a spell break in a group, whether it's in a live setting or online, everybody who really follows along has their angle of the spell break along with the person I'm working with. So Diane, I'm going to break video etiquette, and rather than looking at my camera, I'm going to look at you just to connect in. So,
okay.
So do I understand that there is something in your life, one or more things, that you would like to change and that you're ready to change them now?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And along the way of doing this, I might interrupt you. I might have you just stop talking for a minute at what seems to you like an awkward place, being that this is new. Now, you have watched me do some spell breaks with others, so you've seen a little bit of this, but you might feel like I'm being rude. I promise I'm not. Are you okay with that as well?
Yes, I'm okay.
All righty. So you gave me a really strong clue with what you said right before this spell break invitation. You said something about, us striving every day to be in that place. And I heard instantly, oh, there it is. However, that may not be where you wanted to start. So I can trust that whatever you bring up, that you're saying, this is something I would really like to change. What you said to me a moment ago when the light went on for me will be related. And I'm just giving you an extra advantage to, you have something you can feel from that idea. I have to strive every day in order to get into that place. So what is the thing that you would like to change?
Oh gosh, what is the thing that I would like to change? You know what I'd like to change? And this is not because I'm saying this for the audience. This is truly for me. I would really like to change my relationship and disconnection with money. I know that's a huge one. And I'm sure there's a million spells that need to be broken with that within myself. But honestly, that is a huge barrier. So,
all right. So now I'm gonna have you. That's where I'm gonna have you stop. So the minute that you start doing with your words and with your thoughts what you've been doing that's bringing this about, that's when I stop you. Just so everyone can know and you can know it's not rudeness. It's to help.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
You're talking about something that is nearly universal right now.
Yeah.
Money issues. I have discovered, and since you're going to have some major shifts happen here, I'm going to give a moment of reflection that can help you and everybody else listening. So having worked with people that are homeless and having worked with billionaires and everything between, and having worked with over 120,000 people, I've polled and interviewed on live events over 20,000 people. And I have reach this awareness. There are three main ways that people do money. And the first one is roughly about 87% of people on the planet today, all cultures, ages, everything. About 87% of people, their experience is no matter what they do, they just can't get enough money. And then there's a second group, around 11%, that they're really good at making enough money. But the minute they get a little bit extra, the minute they're a little bit ahead, or if they make too much money, they find a really incredibly creative way of losing it that usually looks like somebody else did it to them. They may have a tire blowout, they may have the washer and the washing machine and a tire goes out at the same day. There's no tell, or maybe they have a business partner take them for $250,000. Doesn't matter. They find a way. That's the second group. The third group are the people who basically are able to have all the money they want and need and more, but they secretly know they're punishing themselves in other ways, relationally, not having any time freedom, sickness, etc. It's really weird. And I want you to know what it always boils down to. Nobody has any money spells. There are no, sorry for everybody selling all the courses on how to solve your money blocks. There's no such thing as a money block. I got great news for you. There's no such thing. That's just an industry that's cashing in on an illusion. Okay, which great. Everybody can do what they want to do. So if you'll close your eyes and feel the way you have felt about money, what's it been like for you? Give me a couple details about what that's been like. Your connection with money.
Throughout my life or right now?
Either one that you feel in this moment. I know you said it's a huge barrier. So let's kind of go with that.
So the barrier, a lot of childhood things come up for it. Lack of money, never enough. One of my stories or spells is I throw money away.
Okay.
And that I'm not good with money.
Let's go. So let's go right there. And I'm going to have you say a sentence out loud while you feel in your body. Let your arms and shoulders relax. This is beautifully courageous of you to be willing to do this for yourself, even if it was just you and me, and to be willing to do this for the benefit of yourself and others. Just let yourself celebrate that you're not actually being brave against some threat. You're simply being courageous and being willing to feel these feelings. And there's an infinite difference there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you'll say out loud while you feel your body, say it's a huge barrier.
It's a huge barrier.
And see what you feel in your guts after saying that. Feel that tightness in your face. You can feel your jaw.
Yeah.
All right. And if you will, just give yourself a chill, like you had a chill from the tailbone up, just a brrr, like a little shake. Just shake that energy off. Okay. And then feel your body and say, up until now, it was a huge barrier.
Up until now, it was a huge barrier.
And feel the difference. Your voice is different.
Totally.
Everything's different. Now, let that sink into your cells for a minute. Up until now, it was a huge barrier. Okay. I acknowledge it. It was a huge barrier.
Up until now, it was a huge barrier.
Yeah, a minute ago, you knew that it is a huge barrier. Now you just know that it was a huge barrier. Because in this very moment, could you produce the barrier and bring it out and show it to us?
No.
Oh. Okay, so shake that off. And then feel your body and just relax from your tailbone up to your crown and feel inside of your body, which is the portal to infinite intelligence that we all think is a giant chunk of meat and bones. It's not. All right. Feel your body. And if you will, say and feel what happens in your body as you say, up until now, I perceived that there was a huge barrier. But I don't know if that's true. Maybe there never was a barrier there. Maybe it's just a misperception of something else. Maybe they said I wasn't good with money. And I bought it. maybe I turned that into the illusion of a barrier.
Maybe I turned that into an illusion of a barrier.
And just breathe and feel what's happening inside your body.
It's releasing. It's
All right,
feeling
now,
good.
yeah, feel that. Now, while you're breathing and feeling good, I'm just going to ask some questions, and you can feel like you're the one asking them, because in a way, your infinite being is asking them through me, because there's only one here. All right.
Yes.
So why is it true that no matter how much money I've ever had, there's more where that came from? And why is it true that no one ever needs to strive to get anything? Why is it that perhaps when I learned I wasn't good with money, I started striving to be good with it? Why do I accept the possibility that no one could ever be good with money any more than they could be bad with money? Why do I find a little bit of humor when I think, wow, I actually thought and believed and was living as if someone could be bad with money or good with money? And I was basically punishing myself to prevent them from continuing to punish me. It never worked. It never could work. But at the level that I was at of understanding, when I picked up these conclusions, I reached these conclusions and I've been acting from them ever since, when I don't even know if any of it's true. So breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth and let your body just relax. Yeah, and just a few deep breaths. Why do I accept the possibility that I am not only the universe, I am the source of the universe? Not Diane, not Brian, but I am the source of the universe, right behind and above and at the very center. They say, the sages say, that the cosmos is a sphere or a circle whose circumference is boundless and whose center is everywhere. And therefore, I am as much the center of the universe as anyone else. So when I was little and they said, who do you think you are? The middle of the universe? And I looked around. I said, well, yeah, actually, I am. And that's okay, because so are you. You don't lose your center of the universeness just because I'm acknowledging that I'm the center of the universe. But in that belief in scarcity that they had, which I bought along with them, of course, that's what I had to live from, because whatever I believe is going to show up as infinite evidence from that moment forward, as long as I believe it, because I bought it. I cashed in my infinite, unlimited ability to experience any condition of abundance or scarcity, and I invested it in this one. Got to strive to get there. Got to struggle. And as long as I'm struggling in a universe where the truth is effortless, abundance is always now, that striving will actually always keep what I want away from me. So the simple reality here is that, Brian, when you said you were talking about that living at level 5, and I said, oh, so then the key is to strive for that. And you went, aha, that's why you went, aha, right then. Because if I'm striving for what I already am, then I'm chasing it literally away constantly. In fact, the striving for something is already infused with the intention that I don't have it and it's hard to get. How could I not get endless evidence of that? So if you look back at your whole experience with money now, family, the relative who said, you know, those rich people are selfish, greedy, they're bad, you don't want to have too much money, and I'll buy that, I don't want to piss you off. And the one who said, well, it's the rich people that have already taken all the opportunity from everybody else, it's not fair. Oh, I'm not going to let myself be that. Let me strive my ass off to make sure I never get too rich. I'll keep a huge barrier up in front of myself. Plus, I'm bad with money, so I'll just keep throwing it away. And then every time you spent and enjoyed your money, you had evidence that you were throwing it away, and you had another chance to abuse yourself and criticize yourself and condemn yourself for doing what you had agreed you would do. So what if now every time you flow money, you say, hey, there's more where that came from. There's more where that came from. There's more where that came from. There is more where that came from. And if I'm keeping that in my awareness, as it flows to me and through me, why the hell did I ever want to stack any of it up anyway? Of course I let it flow through me. Wow, they showed me that that was a wrongness in me, but it actually wasn't. I just bought that it was, and I've been beating myself up to prevent them from having to beat me up. Wow. So if you look back at your whole financial reality now, all the times you ever screwed up with money, blah, 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 blah. Look at all of it and all the prices you ever paid. And all the punishments that you were sure were waiting eventually at some point, inevitably. If you just realize you don't know if that's true, and just say out loud, if you will, look what I created.
Look what I created.
And feel that relief.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if you will, say, I forgive myself anyway.
I forgive myself anyway.
And now while you feel that relief, I'm just going to throw another couple sentences out. So you just said, I forgive myself anyway. And I'm going to say, of course I forgive myself anyway. What the hell else could I have done? Infinite, unlimited being on a vacation from eternity, projecting into time and space to have the illusion of limitation. Of course, I'm going to have a symbol of abundance called money to give that experience of limitation and have it be painful and confusing until I was ready to actually sit with Brian and go, oh, wait. And wake up and realize there never was anything to it. So of course I forgive myself anyway. What the hell? Why did I get this? Where did I get the idea there's some inevitable punishment? Man, that was bullshit the whole time. I mean, it was kind of fun not having fun because I guess as an infinite, unlimited being, there's a joke. I'm almost done here, Diane. There's a joke in Hawaii where I meet someone on the beach and they go, oh, you live around here, don't you? I'm like, how do you know? And they say, yeah, but where do you guys go for vacation? That's the joke in Hawaii. Where do you guys go for vacation? So my joke for an infinite, unlimited being, where does an infinite, unlimited being with no limits that's actually love, joy, and peace, immeasurable, infinite abundance, where does it go for vacation? Earth Academy, the experience of limitation. Period. End of story. That's all there is to it. So of course you forgive yourself anyway. What the hell else could you have done with it, with this time and space experience? And so now if you'll say, regarding money and all else, I choose peace.
Regarding money and all else, I choose peace. And
why is it true that when I choose peace, it is ever present as what I actually am?
And why is it true when I choose peace, it is ever present as I actually am?
And you know, you're love and joy and peace. That's what, if you had a name, that's what it would actually be. Love and joy and peace. Infinite energy in a state of infinite possibilities, in an infinite state of grace, utterly always forgiven for everything, because forgiven means given before. That's all it means. You gave all this way before. So you don't need any external validation. How you feeling?
Feeling amazing.
All right. Amazing. So if you want to just say one final sentence and just say, I now attune all my systems.
I now attune all my systems
to this new awareness.
To this new awareness.
And now before you open your eyes, just think about what you were thinking about money a little while ago and see how you feel about it.
It's gone.
So now to multiply the effect of that, acknowledge that it's gone. Let your mind know, hey, mind, I'm inviting you as my ally. I know you were doing all that shit to keep me stuck because you were trying to keep me safe, but I want you to come over here, mind. I'm leading again now. Come over here and take a look with me. Do you see this is gone? Do you see this has changed? Do you see it's okay for this to be changed? And we're actually just as safe. You don't need to go recreating those loops again in order to keep me safe, because I know you were doing your job, sweetheart, but that's not necessary. We don't go that way anymore. All right.
Beautiful.
Now, as you get ready to open your eyes, this time, do something a little different. Sit there in the middle of your throne, in the midst of your brain, that seemingly physical thing, and look out through closed eyes and notice you can see the light. So when you look out through closed eyes, you're choosing to bring some of your awareness right around your pineal gland, center of your brain. and you're looking out through closed eyes so you can feel where you are. Now, when you open your eyes, don't fly out into the room like we always have. Actually stay in there and let the light flow in to you and feel how different that is, and be ready for the room you're in to look different.
Okay. Wow. That was amazing. That was amazing. Incredible. Wow. Thank you. God, I feel so good. I really feel, I feel different. I feel shifted. Feels so good. Oh gosh, I hope the audience got that too. Wow, Brian, you're amazing. Your work is just incredible. So all right, so share while I'm still in this state, because I'm I'm running this show and I don't feel like it right now. No, I'm kidding. No, I feel extraordinary. Just truly the connection. Thank you. What a blessing and what a gift. Talk about your program, your video training, and how people can get more of you and tap into this.
Oh, perfect. That's perfect timing too. So over the last 9 years of doing this, I have been doing my 10,000 oil changes and distilling. And my team and I, we spent from November until March building an approach to help entrepreneurs. And then the lockdown happened and we just froze it. I got this feeling, help as many people for free as I possibly can while this is going on. Now, interestingly, my company had just spent a bunch of time and money building this system to help entrepreneurs that it'll be revealed soon, but very soon now. But we just froze it, and I've been doing a lot of free stuff. And what this has led me to is a whole nother step of distilling everything down to its essence. And it's about living in oneness. And almost all of us level 4s and even some level 3s have heard about oneness, the idea that all is one, everything is energy. But to live in it is totally different. And so I created a webinar that's free. It's like the last 100 group sessions that I've led. I distilled it all down to this one webinar that takes people directly into an experience of being in oneness. There's no sales pitch on the webinar. At the very end, I make the lightest possible invitation to a program where I help people to live in oneness. And I've made this so transparent. When people watch the webinar, I tell them at the start, listen, at the very end, I'm going to make an invitation. You can go through this webinar, get the benefit, experience tapping into your oneness in this profound way. And then I'll let you know when I'm going to make the invitation. So if you don't want to hear an invitation to go further with me, you can be done. Like we just went as transparent as humanly possible. And for those that want to, there is an invitation to a course where I walk them weekly into living in oneness through a series of modules. People have literally been telling me, you know what you just experienced in a few minutes. People are telling me that people are saying to me that they got more out of this free webinar than they got out of the last 20 or 30 years of working on themselves. So I'm really happy to share it. And it's available. Wow. It's available at briandridgway.com/today. And you can obviously share the link. It's Brian with an I, because of spelling is a little trippy here. Brian with an I, D, Ridgway with no E, RIDGWAY.com/today for I have today.
Yeah, we're going to have the ticker running with it.
Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful. So briandridgway.com/today. I highly encourage you to watch this free webinar, because if you just witness this, imagine experiencing more of this. Your work is just miraculous, and you've got such a gift. So we're gonna plug this and push this out everywhere for for all of our audience, all our viewers, so that they can take advantage of this, because they need it. Anybody and everybody needs this. And you're the master. You truly are, Brian.
I receive that reflection, and I I'm going to take one last minute because I want to say something with that level of praise coming from the praiseworthy yourself. I'm going to say this. When you start to live in oneness, you realize that you have no need for pride and you have no need for humility. There's pride that comes on when people are trapped with this forced humility. And so I receive what you're saying fully, give, receive, and I reflect back that if you didn't have that infinite awesomeness in you, you couldn't recognize it in me.
Well, I receive that too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. This has been an amazing show. I mean, I wish we could go on, for another hour. It's so extraordinary, but I know I will have you back. If you'll be back, if you'd like to come back, you are welcome to come back to the show anytime.
Happily. Let's do it.
Oh, thank you. All right. So to register for Brian's Living in Oneness Now training, go to briandridgway.com/today. The ticker is going there. We're going to have a link for it in the description area as well. And we're out of time for this week's episode. Brian, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for the spell break. Truly, honestly, I hope I clearly helped me, and I hope it helps thousands and thousands of others. And you just continue being you and doing you. So thank you.
It's been awesome, Diane. I appreciate it too. See you soon.
My pleasure. All right. That's it for this week's episode. We'll see you next time. And I Have Today. Take care. Bye-bye.